Welcome to EDU World Space.
When we talk about critical and non-critical regions, we're referring to the areas under the bell curve that we would either reject or fail to reject the null hypothesis whenever our test statistic lies in that region. So, for example, we would have a bell curve that looks something like this when we talk about our population. Then we would go out and we would conduct a survey and get a sample to get a mean from that population. So let's say our sample mean is somewhere out here, then most likely that would be far enough away from our mean that we would reject the null hypothesis. So it's all going to depend on what level of significance we choose. If we choose 90%, then the cutoff point will probably be something closer to here. Whereas if we did a 99%, it'll be probably out more like here. However, a lot of times we will do a 95% with a two-tailed test and it'll be 1.96. That's probably the most common cutoff point is 1.96, which would be around here. And so in that case, anything that is in this shaded region would be the region where we would reject the null hypothesis. So if our actual sample mean that we got was right here, then we would reject the null hypothesis. And then alternatively, this leftover region in the middle would be the non-critical region or the non-rejection region, because if our sample mean is anywhere in here, then we would fail to reject the null hypothesis. Basically, we're claiming that the sample, if it was off of the mean right in the middle here, so let's say our sample mean was like right here, we're basically saying that it was just bad luck that we got a little bit off of the actual mean. And it's expected to not get perfect luck every time. So we don't suspect that anything is wrong here. If we get it far enough away from the mean, then we would say, okay, this is no longer due to bad luck. Something more significant is happening here. So in conclusion, we would have the definition for a critical or rejection region as follows. Critical or rejection region refers to the area under the bell curve in which the test value might lie where the null hypothesis would be rejected. And then the opposite is true for the non-critical or non-rejection region. So that definition would look like this.